Hello, welcome to the Minimalist EDC. My name is Chris, and today is another new knife day. So, I've been waiting for one of these for quite some time. I really wish I'd got in on the pre-order of the ones that are the Damasteel and Mokatai or Zirkutai or whatever, the really fancy ones he was offering. But I missed that one, and I had to wait a little bit to get one of the ones that went to vendors. So this is the Sharp by Design Mini Evo Typhoon. And so let's take a quick look at it. We have our forbidden salt packet, some foam, and there she is. So let's take a minute to appreciate that gorgeous marbled purple carbon fiber. Man, that looks nice. All right, so this is a production model from Sharp by Design, aka Brian Doe. He makes some of the best, if not the best, knives out there today. He makes custom works, of course, but like this is one of his production models that is done by Riot, and every single one I've had in the past has just been a phenomenal experience. So this one has the marbled purple carbon fiber. We have the flipper tab, the little Brian Nadeau watermark on the flipper tab. Yeah, even the pivot, the collar is, or the pivot is done kind of like a 6-shooter. It's really, really sexy. So let's take a look. Oh yeah. Before we go further, let's take a minute to appreciate the sound of a Brian Nadeau detent lock executing. Just really satisfying. So yeah, we have a drop point on this one with a hollow fuller and a hand rub satin on the blade. So let's just get a size comparison out of the way so you can see kind of what we're dealing with. We have our crisp American $2 bill. We have a Mini Evo Typhoon. And I'm going to show a couple size examples because size is something I'm going to talk about kind of extensively in this video. This is the Micro Evo Typhoon. So the same knife, just smaller. We have a Benchmade bug out. I'll just throw a Osborne 940 in there, and because I'm going to talk about it later, this is the Pina Caballero. So you can kind of see this knife is in the bug out range. There are some smaller knives here. This is not going to be a fifth pocket knife like some of these others, but one of the reasons I got it is because, like I said, I already had a Micro Evo Typhoon, and I really like this knife. It's very good. It has all the same characteristics of its big brother here. It's just smaller. The main issue for me, personally, is when I got the Pina Caballero, I stopped carrying this guy. I just like the Caballero more. They share so much similar qualities. We have a drop point. We have a titanium bolster lock, or frame lock, bolster lock, however you want to go about that one. And my card inlays. Like, they're just very, very similar. However, this one has this little flipper tab, which I don't particularly care for in my fifth pocket. Whereas this one is a lot slimmer, sleeker, and is a top flipper, which I very much enjoy. So the top flipper is my preferred opening method on most of my knives, quite honestly. So when I saw that there was a little bit bigger knife, where usually with this size knife, I will be a back pocket carry. It goes right beside my wallet. Whereas this size knife is going to go in my fifth pocket as either a backup knife or just an office carry knife, like something small to carry around the office for light duty tasks. So That's why I wanted this one. I wanted a little bit larger knife, a little bit thicker blade stock, a little bit heavier duty to carry in that capacity. And honestly, like, I don't have very many flippers left anymore. I sold most of them. I'm not a huge fan of flippers, but this is just so good. And so it also has this fuller that we talked about before. And I've seen online where people can use this to deploy the blade. The problem with this one is, like, there is a slight bit of fuller access you can see right here, but my fingers are way too big. There's no way I could get in there to deploy it as a Spidey flick situation. This one, I've been told you can. A couple different reasons. There is a little bit more access, and also it's lower to the pivot in relation to, or you position your finger lower, you get more rotational velocity around the pivot, and so, nope, there we go. Okay, so this will make it take a little bit of practice to figure out where the right touch is to get it out. It's probably not going to be my preferred opening method to flick it out like that, but it's nice to know I can, right? Like, it's nice to know that you can execute your knife with a Spidey flick, even if it's more practical to use the flipper tab. But that's neat. And so, aesthetics and mechanics. So aesthetically, I love this knife. It is absolutely gorgeous. Purple is one of my favorite colors. I love the accents on this. Like, I don't know if I would have got this knife if it would have just been another burlap micarta like this one. Like, this is gorgeous. Or this, I think it may be OD green micarta. I forget. It's gotten a lot of patina on it, and now it's lacking a bit of its original color. But this one, with the carbon fiber inlays, the purple, like, I'm hoping that comes through on camera. It's just stunning, like the way it shines in the light, and when it catches sunlight, it's stellar. So you have kind of a bead blasted, stonewashy type exterior, which is going to accumulate snail trails, but it's not going to show them nearly as much as just a solid titanium. So that will, in time, accumulate snail trails, because I intend this to be a user. You have a pocket clip that has a satin type finish, and that will scuff up. Like, let's take a look at this one right here. Like, this one, like I said, it's been a user. It's got time in the pocket, and this is kind of what it looks like after, I've had this maybe a year and a half. That's what it looks like. And I imagine if you got a Dremel with a polishing wheel, you could probably take this back down to a nice finish. But I'm not terribly worried about it. Like I said, this will be a user, and I intend to use it. So aesthetically, the only thing I don't like about it is the flipper tab. I really wish this was a thumb stud where I could flick this out with my thumb. I love the fuller. I just like that standard, I don't know, what in my mind looks like kind of like a Bowie knife, where it has the fuller and the big belly on the drop point. Like, yes, I know, knife nerds, it's not a Bowie, I understand that, but it is it kind of, in my mind, reminds me of, as a kid, what I thought a Bowie knife was, that had that fuller in it. And so I love the way this thing looks. I do like the mechanics. So let's spend a minute talking about the mechanics. Flipper tab being your primary opening mechanism. As far as a push button, you're not getting there. Like, I can push on this, and it's just basically going to make a dent in my finger. It is a light switch, but it is a very good light switch. You can do a couple things with this. Like, yes, you can put your finger on it and flick it, and then adjust your grip. You can also, just like you would a front flipper, like with your finger right here on a front flipper, you just bring it around back and use the meat of your finger to get it right like that. You can also lighter flick it. So if it's in your hand like this, you thumb on top. It really is just an extension of the front flipper. If it was a front flipper, you had your thumb right here, you're just going to bring your thumb over, and you're basically doing the same motion. You're just grabbing the flipper tab on the way back. And then there is the fuller flick. Like, there's no way I'm going to be able to get my thumb on the front side, but the back side, definitely possible. One of the things that makes a Brian Doe knife special is going to be the detent system, and I can't explain it to you in a way you're going to understand if you've never experienced it. If you understand how a detent works, on most knives, there's a blade, there's a hole in the blade, and there's a little ceramic ball on the lock interface. Whether it be a liner lock or bolster lock or whatever, and once it gets into the closed position, the ball fits in that hole like a little socket and holds it closed, and the force it takes to dislodge the ball from that hole is your detent strength, and dislodging it sends the blade up, and putting it back in the hole closes your blade. So this one, I was trying to see if it had any blade bounce if you close it forcefully, and it does a little bit. Most blades will, but it does catch. If you watch my last video on the Dawn, like that much force would have had the Dawn bouncing, and it's right over. Yeah, it's right over here. I'll show you. So the Dawn, just closing it with a finger, you will see that it. Well, of course I'm not doing it right now. Yeah, there it goes. So you're bouncing it, and it will bounce back out of the detent position. Whereas this one has a little bit stronger detent, and I can make it bounce, but for the most part, it's going to stay because it has a stronger detent altogether. The reason for that is going to be it doesn't use a ball system. It actually has a ramp. And I wish I could show you this better. I don't know if I'm going to get the camera in there. I'll do a disassembly video on this one, and so we'll go into a little bit more on this disassembly video. But there's essentially a ramp where once you disengage the lock, the blade starts riding up on a ramp until it gets to the plateau on the top of the surface, and then locks into place. And then it has to break the detent force of that plateau to get back up on the ramp to come back down the backside of it. And it's just smooth as butter. Like, I don't know if it's patented. I wish more people would use it. It's a gorgeous system. But anyway, that's kind of like my first impressions on this knife. I hope you enjoyed it. I really appreciate you all being part of the community, and like, follow, and subscribe would be lovely. I really appreciate you all. Y'all have a great day.